Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Wesley Chapel Toyota, and guess what? You've asked for it, and I've done the legwork and tracked it down. We have a 2020 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. But before we dive into this one, let's talk a little bit about Sequoia history. Sequoia, it's been around since 2001. TRD Pro Edition did not hit the streets, the trails, and the rocky roads. I love that ice cream, Rocky Road ice cream, until 2014. Now, when you see TRD Pro attached to any Toyota product, TRD stands for Toyota Racing Development. And what they do is they take all the engineering from their Baja 500, Baja 1000 wins, their trophy truck racing, and they pump all that DNA into their vehicles. This Sequoia has a lot of special touches for being a TRD Pro. One thing that's important to remember, when it comes to a full-size 3-row SUV, there's really not much competition for true off-road supremacy, and this Sequoia really fits that slot perfectly. So let's go ahead, dive into this Sequoia TRD Pro, see what makes it so special. Right off the bat, the vehicle just has a presence. It's an SUV with a presence, and I love that Toyota has taken that TRD Pro and brought it into this truck. You're gonna get your LED headlight with LED daytime running lamps. You drop down, they know the business, they know you want the big names. Rigid, it's a company that has been around with off-road racing for so long. Rigid LED fog lamps. Love the way that they kind of just dropped it in, left everything nice and smooth. Before we go any further, this thing has 10 inches of ground clearance. How many SUVs have 5 inches of ground clearance, let alone 10 inches of ground clearance? Really gonna make this so capable going down those off-road trails. We come across the TRD Pro specific grille. So this grille, flat black, it's got the flat gunmetal gray Toyota badging in the center there, specific to the TRD Pro. Love the way it looks. That Toyota badge almost looks like it's floating in the center. We drop down, you have some tasteful flat black horizontal slots, a little bit of this metallic gray finish, and then underneath here, you have full underbody protection. So you're gonna have the TRD Pro skid plates that's gonna protect all the inner bits, the oil pan, oil filter, everything else underneath there in case you hit some rocks, which this thing is meant to go over those rocks. Going up onto the hood, you can see the very nice bold body lines here. And I love the way that the side of the hood is stepped up higher. That's gonna give you a good visual reference point as you're going, especially down tighter trails. You know, you go down these wide open trails, it's almost a piece of cake. Some of these tighter ones where maybe you got some trees around and whatnot, it's good to know where those fenders are. We come around the bend, check it out. Toyota Racing Development, work with BBS. There's the name, forged aluminum wheels. So that's an 18-inch off-road specific wheel. BBS is known in the industry for making the business when it comes to performance wheels. These wheels are over 3.5 pounds lighter per wheel, but they're also stronger, and they're wrapped in these special Michelin off-road tires. It's 275 on the width, 65 series sidewall. You can see the nice massive caliper that you have, and then I'm gonna have Tom kind of swing around and show off some of the inner suspension bits. So you're gonna get TRD specific springs. That's gonna help allow that ground clearance and also just give you great positive feedback as you're going down that off-road section that you love. Color match mirror caps. Of course, you gotta have some TRD Pro badging on the side. It's a gloss black. You're also getting these aluminum TRD specific running boards. They're powder coated to give you that nice stick and grip as you're getting in and out of your Sequoia. Up top, you have this massive roof rail system. Allows you to get your kayaks up there, a cargo basket, bicycles, whatever you're using to go camping or off-roading, you could get it on top of the Sequoia. We come to the rear. I just love the flat black. Those BBS wheels are worth another look, especially with the Pro badging that they have there. Very tasteful. We get to the rear, the tail end of the business. What you're gonna find is a low roof spoiler, of course, blacked out on the badges. My zonk are these tail lights. Don't really fit the character. It almost looks like a soccer mom taillight, which I know these are the taillights off the Sequoia, but I wish they would have done something a little bit different for the TRD Pro. One of the things I do love, besides the TRD Pro badging, is this exhaust outlet. They notched the rear bumper away a little bit. They tucked up that muffler to give you that consistent 10 inches of ground clearance. It's a nice slash cut tip, looks really good. You also have full tow capability. Only zonk is where they have the hookup. It's a little bit on the lower side. I wish there was a way to get it out of the mud, out of the dirt. And then your spare, of course, is located underneath the bottom. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's the muscle behind this TRD Pro Sequoia. All right, guys, we got that massive hood open. It's kind of cool the way the grill goes up with the hood. Underneath that hood is gonna be that 5.7 liter V8. So what we're looking at the end of the day, it's a naturally aspirated engine, 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated through a 6-speed automatic transmission. This Sequoia weighs in around 5,985 pounds. It has a tow rating of 7,100 pounds, can do 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds. MPGs is gonna be probably the one major zonk area. 13 in the city, 17 on the highway. So this is that tried and true 5.7 liter V8. Hasn't been refined in quite a few years, but still gonna give you, like I said, over 7,000 pounds worth of tow capability. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V8 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the Sequoia TRD Pro. I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, I'm liking how this thing looks on the outside. How much is it? MSRP is right around $66,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, the door panel, it's very dated and there's a lot of hard plastic, so I am gonna zonk that. The armrest is as hard as an old piece of sushi that's been sitting outside. You have nice metallic silver though around the switchgear for the windows and the door locks. And there's a very interesting compartment. Toyota knows you love snacks, so you have a little area for maybe some salted or unsalted peanuts, maybe some Cracker Jacks, and you could put the prize in there. You drop down, very, very large door pocket. So you could fit 2 6-inch Subway subs, maybe a cold cut combo and a meatball sub. You have 2 drink holders, and then this one has the optional JBL sound system. It's a 14 speaker system with a subwoofer and also an amplifier. Hard plastic on the dash. You do get 2 glove boxes though, so you could put your clean gloves up here, your driving gloves, and then down here is your off-road dirty work gloves. You also have a tray in here for your Twinkies, which is nice. We get to the center stack, 7-inch infotainment system screen. I am gonna zonk that. I wish it was the 8-inch like you could find on the 4Runner TRD Pro. It is a touchscreen though, and you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is really great. And of course, like you saw, we have navigation. You have dual climate controls, which is very nice. They're nice and bright silver, easy to function with. You got your blower fans dial over here. Of course, this being a TRD Pro, you got 2-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low, push button start. You could drop the rear glass, something you can't do in a lot of SUVs. You could drop the rear glass on that lift back area. Heated seats, but no ventilated seats. So that's gonna be a zonk, and they could go right here. I want my ventilated seats right here. Connectivity though is great. 12 volt, you got a couple USBs, actually 3 USBs. So look at that, you got 3 USBs all the way across and a 12 volt, 2 cup holders. Here is your key fob for your Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. I wish they would do something fancy for the TRD Pros. I mean, you're spending that kind of money, at least a nice fancy key fob. 2 cup holders, a latte holder. It's a little bit smaller for your latte. And then you have a little tray here for your Slim Jims or your Twizzlers. And the good news is, if your wife is bugging you, telling you you shouldn't be eating that kind of stuff, you actually could hide it. So you could drop it down in here, out of sight, out of mind, and only take it out when nobody's looking. You have your 6-speed automatic transmission. This is going to control that 6-speed. It's got the TRD logo nicely placed here. And then what's great about it is that you could actually do manual shifting with it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in reverse and show you the backup camera. There's no trajectory or anything like that, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But hey, you know, you do have a backup camera. It is mandated in all 50 states for 2020, believe it or not. Actually, for a couple years it's been like that. Nice flat, low armrest. it is a little, I wish they would use some softer material, but the good news is all this would clean very well. Open it up, you have your optional safe. This is for the snacks you don't want anybody getting to. Then you have a nice little party tray. M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. And then you can load this up with a bunch of zingers, maybe some nice little Debbie snacks. Put that in there. Close it up. Seats, nice material, leather material. I like the TRD Pro embroidery. The red stitching is nice. Very, very wide, especially the lower portion of the seats, very, very wide and gonna help really make it a comfortable drive. You have power assist for the passenger and the driver. And then of course you're gonna get the all-weather floor mats in here that have the TRD Pro insignia on it. Nice size sunroof. It'd be nice to have a panoramic at this price point. And then you do have an auto dimming mirror, but it's not a frameless. So that's another little bit of a zonk letdown there. But why don't you come over to the business end? I'll show you behind the wheel of the Sequoia TRD Pro. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel, the business end of the TRD, that Sequoia TRD Pro. Seats, like I said, are very comfy. The lower portion is very wide to fit a lot of different body types. You have your full electric assist with lower lumbar, which is nice. Steering wheel, it's, that Toyota steering wheel that we have known for a long time now. The thickness is nice, the leather is nice. I do like the flat black buttons, even though they are dated, they're easy to use and understand. And then the way that the gauges are laid out are spot on the money. You have a tach, speedometer, and then you have your other auxiliary, all analog gauges. In the center there, you have a nice digital display where you could toggle through a plethora of information, which is great. And of course, you're also gonna get that Toyota sensing technology that's going to help keep you safe, like blind spot monitoring, like lane keep assist, and emergency braking. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the mid-row and see how your passengers are going to like this Sequoia. All right, guys, mid-row time. This is where things are nice. I like how much space there is. Plenty of headroom. You have your AC vents nicely placed on the sides of the ceiling up here. The backs of the seats have the leather all the way around. Nice large pocket, so you can put your toothbrush in there, your comb, maybe some dental floss, and then you have a little bit of a nice little work area here. You have your rear AC controls, 2 USBs, which is great. Pull that down. Look at those massive cup holders. 2 Super Slurpees, real easy to go. Do some mixtures while you get your Super Slurpees. Maybe do a little cherry, a little Coke, Coca-Cola that is. Get your mind out of wherever you were thinking. But the seats are very comfortable. The nice thing is that they slide, which is great. And of course, you're gonna be able to recline, which they actually recline really, really nicely. And then you put it back, and then look at this. You have, I don't like these armrests. Why do they do this? It's not like it's a weird ratcheting, like you don't know where the different things are. But once you get it where you want it, it stays. The only challenge is that, look, they're too skinny. Make it a little bit wider, please. Just a little bit wider. You did a great job with the seat surface. Make these armrests a little bit wider, but you do have plenty of room. I don't know who walks through these seats, but you got plenty of room to get through the seats. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the back, the third row, and see how usable it is for larger people. All right, guys, time to get to that third row. What's great about the Sequoia, there's no mystery to it. You just pull up, the seat comes forward, and then you have a wonderful landing area, plenty of real estate for your feet, and with the running boards, it just makes it that much easier. So you're just gonna climb on in, and the great news is I have plenty of room. So plenty of headroom, my knees aren't too high, the seats are actually comfy, and what's nice is look at this, I could actually recline them. And I'm telling you right now, these seats, Toyota does a great job with reclining the seats. Now, the one zonk that I have back here is there's no USB. You got cup holders, which is great. You got a little, look at this, you got a little snack box, so you can get your Cheetos and just put them in there. I have my AC vents, which are great. I even have these little side trays where I could put even more snacks. But the problem is, where do I plug in my phone when it dies? That's a problem. And that's where I'm gonna have to zonk it back here. There's no USB. I would have to run it through the seats. It'd be nice to have at least one USB back here. But for snack storage, plus these electric reclining seats, I mean, this is comfy back here. And this is a third row. So definitely 2 thumbs up for the Sequoia when it comes to third row. But why don't we check out the cargo area and see how much room we have in the Toyota Sequoia. All right, guys, where am I at? It's cargo time. I'm actually sitting behind the wheel. I want to show off the power dropping rear glass window. That's something that on so many of the Toyota products that you can do, whether it's the Tundra or this Sequoia TRD Pro. Just a cool touch that you just don't find on a lot of SUVs anymore. Now, to get into this back area, it's real simple. You have a button here. It is manual lift, but I want to point something out at the end that's going to kind of make you scratch your head. Now, with the rear seats up, you're looking at 18.9 cubic feet of space. We fold down all 3 rows, you're looking at almost 121 cubic feet of space. Now, the good news is that they give you electric buttons here, and to get those seats to go down, it's real simple. You press the buttons. You do have to hold them. You press the buttons and they fold down. It's actually on the quicker side for electric seats. I've seen worse. The other good news is that we have storage underneath. So underneath here, you're gonna have plenty of room. You could actually fill this up with soda and just drink out of it. That's how much room there is back here. Plus you have a 12 volt, which is nice. And then I'm gonna show you what it's like to fold down the middle row to show you that, like I said, 121 cubic feet of space. That's one side. I'm gonna run around and do this a little quicker. Real simple. Look at that. Now you have a mobile bachelor pad. You get an air mattress, you don't even need a house. You could just use this and go off-roading in it. Can't off-road in a house, but you could off-road in the Sequoia TRD Pro. Now here's the thing where you're probably gonna scratch your head. Manual lift, but electric to bring it back down. So the button's right here. I'm gonna hold that down, I'm gonna get out of the way, and it's gonna slowly close and seal it up. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this mobile bachelor pad for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2020 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. I think where all the zonks kind of just get forgiven is when you drive this thing. First of all, visibility out over that massive hood is awesome. It's actually quite impressive. And there's just something really cool about a full-size SUV that has this kind of off-road capability. That's what I'm really digging about this Sequoia TRD Pro. Like I was pointing out earlier, the seats, especially the bottom portion, very, very comfortable. Lots of real estate for your rear end and your hamstrings. The upper portion of the seat, it's a little flat, but you know what? It's got you covered for all different body types. And as we're driving, I just love the way that this thing drives. Very, very smooth. And not a lot of bounce. You know, sometimes you get into an off-road vehicle, they kind of bounce all over the place suspension-wise. They really did a great job not only tuning this for off-road capability, but also on-road capability as well. I mean, some of the points, the sour points is the navigation system. The infotainment system screen is just too small for a vehicle this size. And, you know, I can't wait for when Toyota redesigns this thing, because it's going to be something very, very impressive for sure. But the nice thing is you're not getting, even though this is hard plastic, you're not getting a lot of glare off the dash, which is great. Well, let me go ahead and get on throttle. 6-speed drops down. Great V8 sound. You know, that's one thing that seems to be disappearing, is that V8 power in the larger SUVs. And this thing definitely has it, and has a great sound to it, which is awesome as well. And 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds is very respectable, that's for sure. But getting onto the highway here, which remember, you're gonna get 17 miles to the gallon on the highway. On throttle, 6-speed drops down, you're off and running. Visibility out the back glass is amazing. The side mirrors are nice and large, which gives you extra great visibility as well. But super, super smooth. Brakes feel good. And just overall, like I said, you're in something that if I had the terrain right now to go some major off-roading, this thing will do it and not even break a sweat. It really is a true off-road SUV. There's a lot of other pretenders out there. This thing is the real deal. The Sequoia TRD Pro is the real deal. Let's go ahead and see how we do in this U-turn. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, back on throttle. Watch out. Here we go. But even though it doesn't have a TRD catback exhaust like the Tundra, still has a great V8 sound. Lots of place to put your stuff. That's another thing, you know, if you're gonna be going out to the wilderness for a while, you do have plenty of places to put things in here. Especially if you are gonna use this as a mobile bachelor pad. Because you can fill out the back with your bed and then have everything else up here without any issues. All right guys, let's see how this thing handles through the twisty bits on throttle. Really, the power delivery is so smooth. I mean, naturally aspirated. And look, I mean, it holds a line really great. And gives you good feedback. That's the wonderful thing, is the amount of feedback is just really excellent in this. Around this tight right-hander, very composed. I don't feel like I'm out of control. I don't feel like I'm gonna bounce off the road. It feels really well planted. And that's really where all that work comes into play that the Toyota engineers have done, especially over at TRD. You know, you have those lighter wheels, which means it's less rotating mass, which is gonna equal better driving, better steering, all that. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of the Sequoia TRD Pro. Controls are dated, but they're easy to get to, which is wonderful. But I'm glad that we were able to do this one for you, because I know a lot of people specifically asked for the Sequoia TRD Pro. But I'm gonna go ahead, get back to Wesley Chapel Toyota and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Wesley Chapel Toyota. I definitely got to thank Jeff and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2020 Sequoia. It's such a unique vehicle, such a special vehicle, that even though it does have its sore spots with it not being freshly redesigned, but it's got personality and it's got character. And the reason why it exists is for that car enthusiast, that off-road driving enthusiast. But if it's vehicles like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to give it up to TRD Pro Tom Moschner. He actually got that tattooed across his back. Thank you, Tom, for getting that done and showing your support and your hard work as always. And just like with you guys, I'll see you on the next ride.